Welcome to another episode of Stuck in the Middle podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Feel like we're on the road here, man.
Man, it's a good Sunday.
Yes, sir.
How's your week? How's your week been though?
Yo, the week. How was my week? I don't even know.
Yeah,
I forget. Yeah,
it was cold. We had a 60-degree day, and then we lost 30-degree. Can you imagine?
We probably lost more than that.
Bro, it's freezing out here.
Freezing out here, dog.
Nah, but I can't complain though. It's been a good week. Yes, sir.
Most stuff.
But you know what I'm saying, man? Like where we from, you don't get cold like this, bro. It's hot all year round, and that leads me to say we immigrants out here.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We're immigrants out here, and if you're an immigrant in this country, you know some things like, first of all, being an immigrant, from immigrant descent or whatever, that's what this podcast is about.
Right.
Being from immigrant descent and excelling, contributing to the society, the community that you were in.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying, doing big things. And that's why we invite people here, give them a platform to share their experiences, you know what I'm saying, their struggles and their successes, so that people can learn and people can be like, man, like,
right.
we out here, you know what I mean? But
yeah, and also if you're an immigrant, you know what I mean, like, you definitely felt that process, of actually, being legal, here in, here in the States, from, being, obtaining a permanent residency, green card, citizenship. Like, it's really hard, and it's also time consuming and money too. Lawyer fees are not cheap.
Lawyer fees ain't cheap, bro.
They're not. You know what I mean?
They ain't
And
cheap, bro.
luckily for us, we have one in the building today. So
let them know who we got.
Yeah, man. She's the president of Nigerian American Lawyers Association.
Yes, sir.
NALA. NALA. And an attorney advisor for at the Social Security Administration.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kemi to Stuck in the Middle podcast.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Kelly, welcome to the podcast, yo.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I was just telling you guys, this is my first radio podcast type show.
Yeah, man.
And I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
It's like,
I like
that energy.
I'm getting famous out here, right?
She got the
I'm
energy.
on radio now.
Yeah, you're on radio
I'm
now.
on YouTube. Mama
I like
made
the
it.
energy.
You know what I'm saying?
Mama, you made it.
I made it.
Forget the lawyer.
Listen.
Forget the Social Security.
Yes.
She on Stuck in the Middle podcast.
Yeah, man.
That's all I need.
That's what it's about.
Listen,
Thank you so much.
listen. Before we even get into it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Stuck in the Middle is, like we talk about in an African household. Your parents, growing up, don't want a lawyer, doctor, engineer,
Yeah.
or you are
yeah,
disgrace to family.
Hey, you can't be a rapper or singer.
No.
You took it literal.
Like, she really took it literally, like, and then she even said her sister too is lawyer.
Ha.
Wow.
Try.
I just have to. Well, I think it's just the way we were raised. It's and I don't believe that lawyer, doctors, engineers are the only forms of successes. Look at even Africans, Caribbeans in the creative arts, musicians, artists, painters, actresses, actors in Hollywood. Now a lot of African, from Lupita to, they're making their marks even in the theater arts. So I believe there are different forms of successes. I think now Nigerian and African parents and Caribbean parents are trying and now starting to embrace that. Like, just because you don't have a kid who's a lawyer or doctor, does not mean that they have not attained a level of success.
Right.
So it's definitely a change in their mentality.
But the
now.
bags is not the same though. Like, when you talk about securing the bag, it's
because
not the same.
Lupita and the rest of them are making more money than we are. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, she's trying to
Ask the
spin it.
doctors. They work 24
If you were to do something different, what would it be?
I would probably,
Speaking about bag.
Without
Like
the
securing,
bag?
not security. It's about securing the bag. Would you say or not?
No, not all the time.
So you like passionate about being a lawyer?
I am, and I was. I remember I was in the medical bio, but it just wasn't for me. But when I was in high school, I was in mock trial, and I used to argue, and that was my love. Like, I enjoyed it. And then I also looked at it as having a law degree. A lot of times you can impact change without even being in the courtroom. Just being outside the courtroom, there's so many ways that you can help your community. So, but if I could be, what was the question? If I could be one thing instead of a lawyer?
Yeah.
I'd probably be like an actress.
I think you excel in it very well.
I do.
It's never too late to pursue your dreams.
No, I do. I act in church. Yeah, I do a lot of things in church. We have a
She's
drama
married.
ministry.
She's marrying.
I'm a member of the drama ministry. We have little skits and stuff, and I really enjoy it. It's fun. If I could sing, a lot of times I wish I could sing.
If you're there for me,
listen, nobody.
We're not gonna go back to this. Okay? We're not gonna go back to this.
Yeah.
But now, for those who are watching right now, and they're kind of wondering who is Kemi. What would you say? Who are you? What would you?
Kemi.
If somebody said who's Kemi, what would you?
How much time do we got?
Oh,
we
crap!
got 2
You know what I'm saying?
minutes.
Because I don't think
A
I can
minute and
count.
15 seconds. Sure.
I think Kemi is really passionate about. I love family. I love culture. I think right in the past few years, I'm starting to understand, like, finding my purpose. And I think my purpose would be just to give back to the community. That's why I even became interested in NALA, was because they did a lot of outreach and they wanted to help the community, allowing our voices as not only Nigerians, just as immigrants, to be heard. In Prince George's County, we have one of the biggest populations of Nigerian immigrants, yet we're so underrepresented when you go to, the judges and the courts. It's not a lot of us, or even in legislation and policies. So I think that's starting to find that as my passion of, like, just getting out there, getting our voices heard. And I love food, and I love to have a good time. I love to travel. I love to learn new things about new places, cultures, how people, just traveling and seeing the world. The world is so much bigger than just, Maryland and here. Yeah, that's Kemi.
What was it like, getting through your degree into becoming like a licensed lawyer?
What is it? It is a lot of hard work and dedication to becoming barred. First, unlike most.
Why why law?
Why law?
Yeah. And what kind of lawyer are you, by the way?
I'm a general attorney, so I work for the Social Security Administration. So I'm not the typical lawyer that you would see in court. Objection, like, that's not me. I'm kind of like administrative. I do a lot more administrative work. So administrative law, if I could figure out what type of law I practice. The question is, why law? Like I said, I enjoyed it. I realized that I had a lot of strengths when it comes to law. I'm a great speaker. When I speak, for some reason people tend to hear me, and so I figured I could use my voice for something bigger. I'm an awesome writer, so I do a lot of writing, and I'm really good at writing. And so a lot of the characteristics that I had, being an advocate, writing, speaking, it matched with what you need to be successful as a lawyer. And so figuring out my strengths and the legal profession, it just was like a perfect match. So I was like, I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to hone these skills that I have, my writing skills, my communication. Maybe I could go into policy work. Maybe I can, run for office and make a difference. And that's the path.
If you run for office, man, you winning that joint. The charisma is just oozing.
Ooh, thank you.
But as far as like immigration law, because you know what I'm saying, like NALA. First of all, you mentioned it in passing. What's NALA?
NALA stands for Nigerian American Lawyers Association, and we're an organization of Nigerian American professionals in the Washington D.C. area. And our goal, we have multiple goals. One of it is to advance the cause of Nigerian American lawyers. Like I said, we make a huge population in the area, but we're still underrepresented when you look at who is in corridors, who the people in the corridors of power. They don't directly represent the population, right? So Nigerian American lawyers wants to advance Nigerian American lawyers in the United States, but also because we're immigrants, that's another passion. It's like we had to help our people, and that's why we have programs like the lawyer referral program, and it's a program now that's just recently started, and we're launching, and it helps people who just need to talk to a lawyer. It doesn't matter, it's not even immigration, it could be family, criminal law, employment law, any area of law that you just want to talk to someone. We will provide you a lawyer through the program that would have experience in that area. And so our goal is just advancement of Nigerian American lawyers in the area, community outreach, helping the community, making sure that our issues as Africans, as immigrants, are put in place in legislation. Like when they're making laws, they're thinking about us, because while we're taxpayers, we all pay taxes in this city. In this state. So therefore, we have to be heard. So Nigerian American lawyers, we're still a fairly new organization.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how long is it, Yeah.
We've only been around for like a few years. I would say about 3-4 years.
How long have you been president?
A year. So each president, it's no Mugabe over here. You do it 1 year and you get out of office.
Is that enough though? Like, is that enough to get everything you need to get done?
It's a challenge. You know what? My presidency
should be like a two year thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Africans, we do have a history of wanting to hold on to power for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of the things when the organization was set up in the constitution of the organization.
Hey,
It says
we got constitution. I
we
like
do.
this.
We do have a bylaws that we have to
Okay.
focus on, and it says,
They are lawyers. They wrote these
listen,
things.
it's in writing. You have a year. We have the office of president elect, and so look at it as almost like 2 years. You're president elect for a year, and by the next year you become president. So you have about 2 years, kind of, sort of, but you're president elect instead of vice president. We don't have a vice president, we have a president elect. And so so it's 12 months. It's tough, but it's like that's why you have to have strategic goals of the things that you have to accomplish. And the moment even before the moment you were elected, you start work. Then we get elected. I think it's like March, and then April, that's when you start resume office. And so you just get to it.
It's a big election year, midterm elections. You know what I'm saying? Like Congress people, senators
Yeah.
and stuff, governors. What's one thing that's you're passionate about? November is around the corner, and your tenure is you're the president. You know, and you mentioned make sure that the immigrant community, which we are, productive citizens in the United States. What's one thing that you're passionate about? Like, let's bring this to legislation.
Let's bring this to legislation.
Or one thing that you're passionate about as far as like you want to absolutely get this done in your tenure.
Well, one thing that in my tenure, domestic violence was another cause that we were really passionate about. And we had a domestic violence seminar, and basically we wanted to educate, like, what is domestic violence? Are you a victim of domestic violence? How can you tell the signs that you're in domestic violence? And what people don't understand is it's even tougher for immigrants, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about in the immigration seminar. When you're in a domestic violent relationship and you're an immigrant, a lot of people cannot leave their spouse because he's filing for me. So he's beating me, but I can't leave because, number one, I don't have an income. He's the one who's, without him, I'm nothing, or her. It goes both ways. Let's be clear. Domestic violence is not just a woman being beaten. Men, too, could be a victim of domestic violence. So, just, I guess, more legislation that will address domestic violence and helping victims, especially as an immigrant, who feel like they cannot just leave because of their immigration status.
What are some solutions to domestic? You mentioned domestic violence. It's something that this platform is looking
Yeah.
to bring on the table this year.
So
What are some as far as like in the
solutions.
immigrant community? Do we talk about it enough?
That's the problem. And that's why we had the seminar. And by the way, NALA hosts a domestic violence immigration seminar every year. We had one in, I think it was October 2017 last year. We'll have another one this year. And the reason why it was on the forefront is because, like you said, as immigrant, it's like sometimes domestic violence is ingrained in our culture. It's like it's normal for you to be hit on. It's like, sometimes the person that they hit on, you even go back to your husband's house and beg them after they give you a black eye.
I know.
Your family will even push you and like, you can't leave that house. You have to go back. That's your husband. You're not breaking up the marriage. And so it's so ingrained in the culture. In fact, when we were promoting, a lot of people were scared to come out to the seminar. Because when they go home and they find out, wait, you were where? You were talking about us and our marriage? That's, big trouble. And so the solution is, number one, just even speaking out to get somebody to hear you. Finding out, there's so many resources.
Me Too movement and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now in Hollywood, oh my God. You can see it's like they're like in Maryland, they're different, like House of Ruth. It's a huge organization. I don't know if you know. House of Ruth helps domestic violence victims, especially women. It's for women, and they'll find you placement housing. Because the reason why a lot of victims don't want to leave is they have no money. If you don't have money, where are you going to go? If you have kids, you don't want to leave your kids. So they find placement for women and children. There are churches, churches that offer, programs. And I think it's just to find the organizations that are set up to help the victims to get the help that they need.
Is it Roots or
House
Ruth?
of Ruth.
Okay.
RUTH.
RUTH, okay.
Yeah, House of
Dope,
Ruth is
dope,
big on domestic. They actually spoke. We had someone from House of Ruth speak at our panel. We had a diverse panelist. We had attorneys. We had a pastor, reverend from the spiritual perspective. We had a state prosecutor who prosecuted people who were charged with domestic violence offenses. We had a defense attorney speak. So it was quite a diverse panel. So we're going to build on that every year and get the word out.
Yeah, this year you guys will be hosting an immigration seminar. You mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
Is this your first?
Yes. This is NALA's first immigration seminar. And like I said, when I ran for office, when I wanted to be president, I had things that I wanted to accomplish.
Right.
And being, of course, an immigrant organization, immigration is very passionate to me because I'm an immigrant. I wasn't born here. I still remember how we migrated and how we transitioned. Even though I was still a minor, I was cognizant of what was going on. And so now with the new changes in immigration laws with DOMA, and last week there was a raid in 7-Eleven stores.
It's wild.
So it's like, so people are literally on their heels. Like, people are terrified. Immigrants are scared because it's like, are they gonna bang on my door in the middle of the night and just like separate me from my children? Because some immigrants, they could be illegal, but their children are Americans. What happens?
AKA DACA.
Well, DACA it's different. The children are illegal.
And well, the parents are.
No, they're both illegal, but DACA is to help the minors who came when they were minor to just be able to work. It doesn't even give them immigrant status. It's just you can work. So I think because of immigration, it's all over the news. It's on social media. We see it. It's in our faces now. As an immigrant, it's like, it's not the best time to be in America at this point. Because you're even the people that, except you're an American, even if you have a work visa or student visa, it could be expired in like a few months. And you don't know what's next. When you apply to, you still have a few more years of college, or you want to go to grad school. If you apply, would you be denied? So I think now, because of what's going on, it's important, especially as an immigrant organization, to educate the immigrant community on what is going on and how they can get help.
This event, is it free, or like talk a little bit about like the pricings and all that?
No, it is free.
Pull up.
Yeah.
Free. Not only is it free, you also have, because like you said, finances. Some people just cannot afford to talk to a lawyer, and that's the reality of it. So you hear from people, immigrant attorneys who practice this every day. You get to hear a panel discussion, and they will provide different topics. And I don't know if I have time. We'll go into that, what they will be talking about. But at the end of the seminar, you can also consult with an attorney for free. Sit with an attorney and just talk to them about what your issue is. And it's free consultation for 15 minutes. We don't have enough time. So we're trying to get in as many people, as possible. Right now, we have a lot of people that have registered. Right now, I'm like pulling neck and teeth, like, I need you to be, getting my friends who are attorneys who practice immigration, like, listen, I need you to offer a free consultation, like, just so that people can, just talk to someone. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, they file the immigration things themselves. They make stupid mistakes and they get denied, and they have to, start all over. And it's not expensive. It's not cheap.
Right.
Each form that you're applying, you're paying for it. You have to file over. You have to pay more money. So, yeah.
Listen, man. Let me stress this point enough, because some people sit in the community, and because of I want to say because they're shy, they just hold a lot of things inside.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Like, people like Kemi out here who are actually organizing free events. Like, go out. Don't sit with that thing in you, and just because of your pride or whatever that you're gonna go out there and and see a lot of people, and they're gonna know your secrets or whatever. Like, this is free. Like, you'd rather go pay thousands of dollars to get the same information that you get for free. It makes no sense. So, like, we have to start cultivating the habit of actually going out and
nobody's
participating in this discussion panels, because there's one or two things that could be said that you're gonna benefit from.
And nobody's gonna turn you over to the police or nothing like that.
Right.
Come on out and get help, get consultation.
And another thing, it's like, just because you're there, again, the people that are coming, you don't have to even be illegal to come. You could literally be in status. There are different legal immigration style. You could be a tourist visa. There are different visas. You could have a tourist visa. You're allowed to be here. You can have a work visa.
Right.
It could be that you just want to change the status of your visa. It could be that you have children overseas that you're trying to bring here because, you're settled. You want to know the process of migrating them here. It could be that you have a work visa that's going to expire soon, and you need to know how to change the status of your work visa. So it's not all going to be focused on, oh, you're illegal. No, it's open. It could just be anyone who is an immigrant who has questions. Or it could be that,
you just want, the information because you know somebody who knows somebody who is, illegal or not, or you just want to educate yourself.
I have people who know, they called me, not even about them, but they have a friend who was in the situation, and they're trying to help their friend out.
Right.
So I mean, it's open. You know, it doesn't have to affect you. It could be if you know somebody that you feel like this would be helpful and beneficial for.
This is a seminar that comprised of, it's a panel discussion.
Absolutely.
And, it's going to be a couple lawyers, sitting round table talking about, immigration and stuff and some topics. Could you name some of the topics?
I would love to. So right now we have 5 panelists that will be speaking. One, the Afe. Afe is, I don't remember the country he's from. He's European. I think he's Turkish. And he will be speaking about employment immigration. So what people don't understand is, and that's why we have seminars like this, there's not one path to becoming a legal resident. There are different paths. Employment. So he focuses on employment immigration. So if you have a company, a small business, and you're hiring immigrants, how can you help them apply for a work visa? How can you help them apply and change their immigration status as an employer? Or if you have a work visa and you're trying to extend it, or you need a dependent, there are different types. There's like different work visas and then dependent work visas.
H-1B1, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly, yeah. H-1B1. So he focuses on employment type immigration. That's all AFE does, just employment. So that would be beneficial not only for people on work visas, but people who have, if you own a Jamaican store, African store, we have a lot of African stores. We go there, buy our food. A lot of your employees, it's still a business. You're creating jobs. A lot of your employees are immigrants. How do you help them change their status? So AFE will be talking about that. We have another lady, attorney Sabrina. Sabrina deals with crimmigration, and I think
it's a big old word.
It's a term I think she came up with.
Like criminal
law and immigration. Yeah. It intersects between criminal law and immigration. And crimmigration, what people don't understand is, if you get in trouble as an immigrant,
especially in this era.
Okay, and you're legal. You could very well be legal. You could have you could be in college. Maybe your friend is smoking weed. You want to get into a cops come. You get in trouble for smoking weed. You're on student visa. Not that you're legal. If they offer your friend a PBJ and they offer you a PBJ, don't take a PBJ. Probation. A PBJ is probation before judgment. Okay. And so basically, what it is because if you have a criminal record, there are certain offenses as an immigrant that if you do get, it's like a moral turpitude. So it's like when you want to change your status to a green card or a citizen, first of all, it could even be grounds for deportation, right? So criminal law and immigration. So you might be like, oh, but it's no jail time. It's just, I just PBJ. Yeah, if you're an American, that's a good deal. But if you're an immigrant, it affects your immigration status. Prostitution, right? There's certain crimes that the immigration list as grounds for deportation if you're not an American. So crimmigration, she will discuss that intersection. A lot of times immigrants, you have to go to trial and, hopefully you're found not guilty. Because if you're found guilty, you're going home. So she will talk about crimmigration and how criminal law intersects immigration. Of course, we also have someone talk about the common mistakes people make when they're filing. Yeah. So when you file, you have to provide a lot of documents. If you ever seen like an immigration form, it's a lot of information that you have to provide. Maybe your tax, your tax W-2, your tax forms, where you work. It's very detailed. And a lot of people, they want to skip their attorney. Like, it costs too much. And maybe they can't afford it. I can do it myself. But they miss something. And something that's supposed to take 6 months, you're looking at a year and a half. You're looking at more money because every time you have to apply, you have to keep paying. And so she will talk about like the common filing mistakes, the things that simple mistakes. And it's just like, just talk to an attorney, talk to someone who does this. They'll be able to help you out. Of course, DACA. And DACA, I feel like she can't even make the presentation until like the night before.
Because it's changing
very fluid.
Day,
it's changing every day. The judge just ruled, DACA, they can reapply. And for those who don't know who DACA is, I think it's Deferred Action for Childhood. Thank you, DACA. And basically, it's a law that President Obama set in place, such that if you came to this country as a minor child with your parents before the age of 16, you're allowed to work in the U.S. But it doesn't it's not it's a weird legislation. So it doesn't give you a green card. You're not a green card in America. No, it just allows you to work for, I believe, 2 years. After that, you have to renew it. You cannot travel out because, again, you don't have a work visa. You kind of have to remain within the 50 states. If you leave the country, you don't have a visa to come back. So it just allows these children who, think about it, they didn't have a decision on whether they want to come to America. They found themselves in this country. Unfortunate for them, they're illegal. Their parents were illegal, but they have to make a living. And DACA was very helpful because a lot of kids who were able to get DACA, they work at Amazon, they work at Apple, like they're doing good big things,
being productive citizens.
Being productive.
I mean, not citizens, but
being productive society. And DACA opened that doors. And so we're gonna have someone speak on DACA.
Does DACA touch Africans? Like, I hear DACA.
Everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's just there are some caveats. So you have to apply for it before 30. So the thing is, like, you have to come to the U.S.
As the
before
parent?
16. No.
Oh,
as
as
the
a
child.
child,
You have to come to the U.S. Say you came before the age of 16, but when you file for that for DACA, you have to have filed before you become 30. So after 30, you can still reapply, and I think that was the issue. It's like the new legislation is like, no, they can't reapply after 2 years. So someone talks about DACA, and then we have another attorney. He's NALA's former president, attorney Isaac Falucia. Isaac would discuss domestic violence with immigrants. So there are legislation that are designed to help people who are in a domestic violence situation, who are immigrants, who feel like, oh, I can't leave because guess what? He's filing for me. What's going to happen with me and my children? So he will talk about domestic violence situations with immigration. And I think I'm missing someone else.
But listen though, like Stuck in the Middle podcast is like everything covered, yo. Like like that's what this platform is about. Right. People who are in those situations, like, yo, I'm literally stuck, and really appreciate you guys putting this event together. Listen, for those who are listening, you've laid it out all out, and they're like, yo, I want to pull up. When is it?
So it is on Saturday, January 27th, 2018. It's at the Silver Spring Civic Center building. I think the address is something veterans, but just Google Silver Spring Civic building. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And so I suggest you arrive early because you don't know who goes first. The person that goes first might be the person that would talk about something that affects you. Yeah. So if, the employment guy goes first or DACA goes first, you don't know. So early arrival is advised. And if you also want to speak with an immigration attorney at the conclusion of the panel discussion, we're offering 15 minutes free consultation. But
that's a long time.
It is. But you have to register first because right now, like I said, like we have a lot of people registering, and now we're trying to get as many immigration attorneys like, hey, we have to give back. I need you to consult. So at some point, we're going to close the registration because we're not going to promise people and not have enough attorneys. So you have to register on Eventbrite. I think it's NALA DMV. It's naladmv.eventbrite.com. That's how you can register to consult. You need to register to speak with someone at the end.
A little bit more personal, like when you hear the president of our country refer to Haiti and some African nations as, what's the word?
Why are you pointing at me? It's a shithole word.
You know what I mean? Like, how does that make you feel? And like, I don't know what your line of work is if you're administrative and can't comment on it, but
I think it's important at this point to focus on how immigrants have benefited to this society. And I want to point that, like, immigrants, some of the immigrants that I know, they're the most hardworking, dedicated people that a lot of them come from really, when you hear people's stories of the struggles that they faced to even get an opportunity to come to the U.S., it's like a dream for them. And when they come, they want to feel like this is home. They want to be a part of this society. And so they work really hard. My mom was a nurse. My mom had sometimes 2.5 jobs. Like, she would work just to get us through college, And I know that's typical for most households of immigrants. They teach us, like, no, this is America. You could be anybody that you want to become. And so the kids, we go to school and we study and we go to grad school, and that's not enough. We go to med school, we go to law school, we get an MBA, we go to Hollywood, we say, you know what, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actress, I want to be a singer. Look at DMV has Wale. It's just so many immigrants that have added to the wealth of this nation. And I think in this time, I think we should focus on that and, try to celebrate our accomplishments. Even immigrants serve in the U.S. military. If you go in the U.S. military, a lot of immigrants because they feel like this is home.
Yeah.
And they lay their lives on the line and they die for the country. You know, immigrants are firefighters. They're policemen. They're in the army. They're in the Navy. They're everywhere. Everywhere you go, it's just immigrants who feel like, you know, I want a piece of that American dream, but I also have to give back because this is home. I want to fight for this country. So I think in periods like this, I think it's very important for us to focus on how we've benefited to this society, how we've benefited to this community. And, you know.
You're very passionate about this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you say you travel, you travel a lot, you like to do fun stuff. Do you dedicate some time to just having fun, or when you're having fun, you're also talking about work?
No.
She's listening to Davido Fire.
The thing is, you have to have a balance because, like, sometimes it's hard not to talk about work because sometimes you get that email that you have to respond to when you're on vacation. Because
where you work at, better?
Where do I work?
Yeah.
Social Security Administration.
Mm-hmm,
but when I mean email, like knowledge stuff, or any of the programs or seminars that you don't have to respond to, I think it's good to find that balance, right? But I find it weird. Like I can't take a vacation for more than, how people would travel for like 2-3 weeks. Like by 1 week,
4 days is enough of vacation.
Me too. Like
2 days.
People are like, I want to be on it. I can't. So a lot of time, the only time it takes me if I go back home to Nigeria, I have to see my grandma. I can't go there for 2 days or 3 days. It's such a long trip. So but I even do 7 days max. And then back to I like my.
You balling.
No,
people like us will have to save for a year just to go back for 2
weeks.
She go for
got
7
that
days.
money.
No, it's not no lawyer. It's 7 days,
fund.
and I like my routine. I like, I like my bed. Like I don't, people go on vacation for 3 weeks. That's not me.
Dog, if I'm going to Cameroon, I need at least 1 month.
No,
because I've been saving that transport money the whole year.
When I was younger, I used to there, but now, listen, 2 weeks is too much for me.
Dang.
I just like
when the last time you were back?
You sound like you 80 years old.
Don't
I'm just saying when I was young. I mean, when I was younger.
When I was younger, like when I was in college.
When you were vibrant.
But when you're in college, honestly, when you're in college, you have summer vacation, you have winter break for like a month, or like I think winter break is like 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Summer is like 3 months.
Right.
You literally don't feel guilty. But I mean, we're adults now. There are responsibilities. You can't go away for 3 months. I mean, except like, so yeah, the last time I went to Lagos was May last year.
What part of Nigeria from?
Lagos.
Well,
I was born and raised in Lagos.
What tribe?
Yoruba.
Shout out to Deuce, by the way. One of our dedicated best camera dude in the building.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And he actually put us onto you. And Sterling's wife.
Yeah, Sterling's wife.
Amber.
Yeah. They put us onto you. Yeah, shout out to them
too. Yeah.
So what village you got?
Oh, by the way, if you're tuning right now, here in the building is Kemi, president of Nigerian American Lawyers Association, NALA.
Yes, sir.
NALA.
We're talking immigration.
Bro. I went to what village again? Oh, state.
I was born and raised in Lagos. My mom, my mom is from Lagos, but she grew up in Ibadan. My dad is from Ijebu-Ode. So
you just lost me.
Just know Lagos.
I think everybody claiming Lagos because that's the most popular. Abuja or Lagos.
But I was born and raised there.
Okay, yeah. So you validated. You
yeah.
cool.
But in Africa, it's not where you're born and raised that you claim is where your father is from. Mm-hmm. Because Lagos, it's like everybody came to Lagos from somewhere. Mm-hmm. So here in America, it's like where you're from is typically where you're born and raised. But in Africa or Nigeria, it's like where your parents are from. That's where you're from. So I'm like Lagos, but by the way of this, but anyway.
Being that you're the president of NALA, right?
Yes.
And I'm not sure if the United States, like you guys, kind of take the United States Constitution or some other country's Constitution, and just go with it. But can you run multiple times? Say you're the president this year. Can you wait for 2? Yeah. Can you wait for 2 years and still?
So NALA members, president? when NALA was founded, right? Because like I said earlier, African leaders have a reputation of holding on to power, and
power is sweet there.
But the thing about NALA is like it's even more work, right? So no, the way the Constitution is, you cannot, if you run for office, I think you have to wait don't quote me on this, I have to pull up the Constitution and read it. I mean, we are lawyers, so
President, you have to have it memorized though.
No.
So I'm just kidding.
We're lawyers, so it's something that people sat down and wrote. Mm-hmm. So I think the way the Constitution of NALA is set up is like you become a board of trustees. So we have a board of trustees, which is comprised of past presidents who are in that board. So you cannot run for office for maybe another 4 or 5 years, because I think I'm on board of trustees for 3 years or something. So we make, we advise, I guess, the organization, but you can't run for office for another 4
Is NALA just here in the DMV in Maryland, or you guys looking to bring it to Texas, Minnesota, where there's a lot of Nigerians in?
And that's the challenge we're facing right now, because we've had people request that, can they be another chapter?
I think it's a dope service. So
can they be another chapter in like another state? And maybe we'll have a headquarters in DC or something like that, but we can have NALA Texas chapter or whatever. But again, like I said, it's a fairly new organization. We're still working right now. We're trying to build a very solid foundation, such that NALA in itself can survive us, so once we get the next of get more members and get the next of it, I see that why not expand into other states. But right now, it's most of the lawyers are licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Like, I'm licensed in Maryland and DC. My sister's licensed, I think, Maryland and Virginia. So it's the Washington, D.C. area.
She practices the same law as you, kind of law?
No, my sister, Odusami Law Firm, she's in private
Shout
practice.
out to Odusami Law Firm.
Yes, Odusami Law Firm. She's in private practice. Attorney Kemi Odusami. She does general practice, so criminal, civil. She does some immigration, but she's just a general practice law firm, personal injury, everything.
I'm gonna need both your phone numbers just in case, you know what I mean?
Yes, man. We'll give you all the
I'm not a trouble. Hey, I'm not. No, listen. I pay full service. Don't.
No, and that's what knowledge from. Like, a lot of people, and someone told me, they were like, we don't really know a lot of lawyers, and I'm like, there are lawyers everywhere, and they were like, no, but you're a lawyer, so you feel like you're surrounded by lawyers, but like the average person, when they need like legal help, they don't know who to go to. They go on Google, they go on refer, and then so I'm just like, NALA is here. We want to be a household name where you go on our website and you can you go on our website, and if you need a lawyer, like, there's like a list of different lawyers in their area of practice, location. If you want women, if you want a guy, if it's immigration, personal injury, criminal, family law, divorce, child support, whatever. And so we want NALA people in the area to know that NALA is here. We're here to serve. Like, people are like, why you? No, the lawyer is it's for you guys. The degree is not for me. It's what can I use my degree for to benefit the community. Right. So NALA is here, and we're just doing stuff out here.
What's the website again for those who are watching right now?
I think it's NALA, www.nala.org or naladmv.org.
Go to www.nala.org. That's NALA.org. If you have immigration, if you need immigration services, and also if you have, your legal issues and stuff. Hopefully you don't, but if you do.
And the event coming up next. Dang, my brain.
Oh yeah, our immigration seminar is January 27th. Saturday morning, okay? I know people don't like to wake up early, but this is something you want to wake up early for.
You want to pull up to this.
So it's Saturday, January 27th, 2018, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the afternoon at the Silver Spring Civic Center building.
There's enough space.
It's enough space. We're going to also, I should have mentioned that, we're also going to provide continental breakfast, just light breakfast, because we know coffee, juice.
Where there's food, there's people.
Yeah, there's food. Because people like, so is there food? Yeah. No, people, they like that. There's food. Yes,
Banku,
there's food.
Jollof.
No, there's no. Please, it's in the morning. It's too early. No jollof rice. Just.
I want to ask you though, like, if we need help, definitely want to hit you up for our domestic violence, event coming up, and please, would appreciate you if you pull up and give us some of your expertise on that.
On what? I'm sorry.
Domestic violence.
Domestic violence, yeah.
Oh, my perspective on it?
Not perspective, but be a panelist or something like that. I'm just putting a bug in your ear right here on live so you can deny it.
I'm
saying when Stuck in the Middle has this seminar, because we are planning one. We would like for you to come through.
Oh, you're planning a domestic violence seminar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not. I could even get somebody who does who works with domestic violence. Like an attorney who works with domestic violence victims, because they probably will have more information about that. Like I mentioned, I'm administrative. I'm not in court, but someone who helps domestic violence victims. And,
dope.
I'll make her friend.
She's the plug.
She's the plug, bruh.
Yeah.
Nah, man, just don't get in trouble out here. Yeah. But no, listen, Kemi, we appreciate you coming through, letting us know about Nala, you know what I'm saying, what you guys have coming up.
Yes.
It's a dope.
Thank you so much for even giving us your platform. I think I'm nervous to see, because I feel like if we have 100 people sign up for a free consultant, I don't know how many people can.
Then that's incentive to do part 2 sometime down the road.
No, absolutely. I have people even coming, like, asking if they can come from New York, because I always thought that immigration seminars, there was a lot of this going on, that people would just have immigration seminar, and people are like, no, it's not, none like this. Like, people don't talk about this, or, you know, and I'm like, no, we should have more conversations about this. If we can even do not just one time, twice a year, if we can host it, but we need sponsors. You know, it costs a lot of money to host a free seminar. We're not charging anybody.
Appreciate the choir, girl.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, but there's a lot of people out there who are. I'm gonna use the word stuck just for plugs, and you know, trying to break the mold, and that's what it's about.
Pretty much, yeah. How can people reach you on social media?
So I was just even getting, Nala does have a Facebook page.
That phone, this generation, you cannot just.
No, I was trying to get
everything you have to refer to. Oh yeah, no, I'm just being annoying.
Oh.
It's supposed to be like, yo, my Instagram is, you know, if you want people to slide in.
My personal Instagram.
Nala, you don't want people to slide in the DMs.
Slide in my DM for what?
For what?
No,
to get Nigeria Jollof now. I'm just
Nala does have a Facebook page. Email, you could use my email address if they
let the people know, people watching, listening right now.
Okay, so if you have questions about this seminar, you can check out Nala's Facebook page. It has all the information you need to know. Our website, I was trying to get on the website. I think something's going on. I need to fix that. But if you go on our Facebook page, you could definitely access information. If you have a question, you can email me. I'm putting my personal email address on this podcast. It's odusami@gmail.com, and I can answer questions regarding the seminar.
And we'll have all the information in the description.
Yes.
If you're listening, you know, when the link goes live on Facebook or on SoundCloud. And speaking of that, you know, follow us on all social media platform, sitmpodcast.com.
Yes, sir.
Send us an email, sitmpodcast237@gmail.com for questions, concerns, or you know, we'd love to hear from you. And this episode has been brought to you, by the way, in partnership with Perfect Office Solutions. If you tell them we sent you, you get 10% off your monthly lease. I don't know if Nala's looking for office building.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have one in the DMV. Perfect Office Solutions space is going to provide you with the dopest office space.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get
10% off a lease.
Yes, monthly.
Okay.
SITM podcast is the promotion code. Just tell them we sent you and you straight.
That's tight.
Yeah. And with that, we want to thank you for coming through. And
thank you for having me.
We got next week.
We got Fit Mom.
Yeah, Fit Mom. Yeah,
Adija.
Adija is coming through. If you a mom out there, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to get back in your body before that baby came, Fit Mom is gonna break it all down.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
What it's about, and we excited to have her. She's doing amazing work as a fit, you know, with the Fit Mom program.
Yeah, man. She's a living testimony for that. Like, you can see it in her. You know,
she has like this thing.
You gotta be a mom to get on it.
No. If you're just trying to get in your
2018 goals, man.
You know what I'm saying?
We gotta get ready for summer 28.
Hey,
hit up Fit Mom. Fit Mom says she will work with anybody.
Yeah, this is the perfect time too, when it's cold, everybody inside, and you just come out summertime like blah.
Got stuck on them.
You know what I mean? It's like, nah.
She should hire you to do all commercials, man.
Hey, man, I'm willing. I got the voice. I got the looks. Try me. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Kevin looking at me like, boy, if you don't get out.
Nah, it's cool.
Hey, listen, man. We are Stuck in the Middle podcast.
Yeah, we out.
Yes, sir.